Coming up on today's show, we are going to take a look at a first-round mock draft for the New York Football Giants. Following the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Giants now own the number 5 pick in the NFL draft. Look, there's a lot of holes on this Giants roster. I ran through the PFF mock draft simulator, and I think I made a pick that a lot of Giants fans would like. Let's take a look at the full draft order when it comes to 1 through 10. Right now, the Chicago Bears own that first overall pick, and it's because of the Carolina Panthers. They made that trade last year to get inside the top 5, to get to number 1. So the Bears own the Carolina Panthers pick. The Cardinals, they sit at 3-12. Commanders sit at 4-11. With only 2 games remaining, and unless the Arizona Cardinals win these last 2 games, which I do not think they will, the Giants could get only as high as pick number 3. But you also got a couple other teams at 5 and 10. You got the Giants at 5 and 10, Chargers at 5 and 10, Titans at 5 and 10, and you got teams at 6 and 9. So we are going to be paying closely attention to, as Giants fans, to the New England Patriots and the Washington Commanders for the rest of the season. You want the Patriots to win a game. You want the Patriots to win at least one of these next 2 games at the Buffalo Bills in Week 17 or potentially Week 18 against the New York Jets. I think they can win this game, and I'm hoping they will. That way the Giants can get up to pick number 4. Who do the Commanders got in the next 2 games? At the San Francisco 49ers and versus the LA Rams. Is that even? I may have messed that up. Let me double check on that. They got the San Francisco this week, and it's actually Dallas next week. So that's on me. It's at the San Francisco 49ers, and it's against the Dallas Cowboys. That's on me. That's how you catch a mistake. I don't see the Commanders beating the Niners, and I don't see the Commanders beating the Dallas Cowboys. This is the Cowboys, not the Rams. I have the Commanders winning the next 2 games, so I think the Giants could get up to pick number 4, and ESPN believes the Giants have a 72.8% chance of earning a top 5 pick. So more likely than not, the Giants are going to end up picking number 5. So let's run through the mock draft. First overall pick, the Chicago Bears. And Pro Football Focus had the Bears selecting Caleb Williams, and I think that is the pick that is going to happen. Whether that be the Bears at number 1 or somebody else at number 1, I believe Caleb Williams is going to go number 1 overall. I also think that number 2 could be the Arizona Cardinals, and it will most likely be Marvin Harrison Jr. unless the Cardinals trade out of that pick. This is where the mock draft simulator got a little bit wacky, but at the end of the day, it is the Washington Commanders, and I could see them doing something like this. Jaden Daniels goes number 3, the second QB off the board over Drake Maye, who wound up going number 4 overall to the New England Patriots. So the top 3 quarterbacks are off the board in this situation. Caleb Williams gone, Jaden Daniels gone, Drake Maye is gone. Also, the best position player is gone. Really, probably the top 4 players on the Giants' big board are off the board right here. So if this were to be how the draft were to play out, Daniels off the board, Williams off the board, Maye off the board, as well as Marvin Harrison Jr., who would you select if you were Joe Schoen and the Giants? If all those players were gone, you're on the clock at number 5, who would you take in that situation? I'm going to give you my answer in a second, but I want to hear from you right now down in the comment section. With the 5th pick in the 2024 NFL mock draft, run by New York Giants now, host Marshall Green, I am selecting Joe Alt. The offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. I think Joe Alt is the best offensive lineman in this class, and I believe he fixes and fills a huge need on this team. 6'8", 315 pounds. He's allowed 1 sack in the last 2 seasons. 1 sack in the last 2 seasons. If I did have a little bit of a concern, it would be that he's only played the left tackle position at Notre Dame, and he would have to switch to that right tackle position. Is that easy? No. But a guy like Joe Alt, who is athletic and big, I believe that he could get it done. Look at the numbers via Pro Football Focus of what he has done this past year for Notre Dame. Joe Alt is an exceptional offensive lineman. He's a good run blocker. He's a good pass blocker. I think he's a better pass blocker than run blocker, and the stats say that. Listen to this. He's allowed 3 sacks, 5 QB hits, and 15 QB hurries in over 1,100 snaps in 3 years at Notre Dame. Allowed just 1 sack this year, just 2 QB hits this year, 85 overall pluses at every single spot. Joe Alt fixes a huge need for this Giants team. Question is, would Joe Schoen be willing to pull the trigger after he just spent the number 7 overall pick on Evan Neal just 2 years ago? I'll tell you why the Giants should make this pick and what the Giants should do with Evan Neal coming up in a second. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. Game Time is the #1 ticketing app in the game. It's the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. And what I love about it as a procrastinator is prices drop as the event gets closer. And it's the lowest price guaranteed. And when you download the app by just going to the App Store and typing in Game Time, use that promo code GiantsChat. Promo code GiantsChat. And you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. So if tickets to maybe the next Giants game or the next Knicks game or a Yankees game or a concert or a theater event is $100, save yourself $20. Spend $80, buy the ticket. Promo code GiantsChat with the Game Time app. All that information's in the comments and description. Look, the #1 goal for the New York Giants this offseason should be this: fix the offensive line. Fix the offensive line. The Giants' offensive line is the worst in the National Football League. And I believe the best way to try to attack that problem is by adding other good players to the offensive line. And the Giants could potentially take the best offensive lineman in the draft in Joe Alt. That's what I would do. I also love the NFL pedigree, and I love the NFL DNA that he's got running through his veins. Joe Alt's dad, John Alt, was a 13-year NFL veteran. So he's going to know what it takes to play in this league. He's going to have the support system. He's going to have a dad that played there and could help him out from time to time. And I just like the fact that his dad was in the league. NFL DNA. I'm a big fan of that. Another reason I'm taking Joe Alt. I don't trust Evan Neal. I don't trust Evan Neal to stay healthy. I don't trust Evan Neal to be a good football player. I don't trust Evan Neal to be a serviceable football player right now in the National Football League. Why should I believe in him? The numbers have been terrible, and he hasn't been available. Sometimes the best ability is availability, and he's not. He's missed 14 games through 2 seasons in the NFL. Think about that. He only could have played in 34 regular season games in 2 years. He's missed 14 of them, and he played 13 last year. He's out for the year, and he may need offseason ankle surgery. I can't trust Evan Neal. He's hurt all the time, hasn't shown to be a good football player, and I can't depend on him. What has showed me through the first 2 years of his NFL career that says I can be a nice and serviceable right tackle in this league? I haven't seen it. He got worse from year 1 to year 2. 44 PFF grade rookie year. 39.8 the second year. 12 penalties in 2 years. Over 69 pressures allowed in just 14 games. And I guess that's 13 plus 7, 20 games played. He's allowed 9 sacks in 20 games played. And at the time of injury, he was ranked as the 62nd offensive tackle in the NFL by Pro Football Focus. 2 offensive tackles play on a team. There's 32 teams. That means he was the 2nd worst starting offensive tackle in the National Football League after he was ranked as 57th in his rookie year. I don't want to be mean to Evan Neal. I'm judging you. I'm not even judging you for what you said about us dumb sheep Giants fans that should be flipping burgers somewhere. You haven't showed up. You haven't played well. You haven't been healthy. You're not dependable. Right tackle is a huge position. Giants need to get the best player there. I'm taking Joe Alt over Evan Neal because Evan Neal does not deserve or has not earned the right tackle spot on this team. He's had 2 seasons. He's blown both chances. What do you think? Should Evan Neal be the starting right tackle next season? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. I'm typing my N for no because if the Giants have him at the right tackle spot starting next year, they are going to be in a world of trouble. Could he turn it around and have a good career? Yeah. But if I'm Joe Schoen, am I betting my career as the Giants general manager on Evan Neal turning it around in year 3? I'll tell you this should be your answer, Joe. Hell no. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I see some people in the chat saying move him to guard. Yeah, take Joe Alt, move Evan Neal to guard, see if he can play there. If not, he's out of the league after year 3, and you don't pick up his 5th-year option. End of the day, final takeaway. If you don't learn anything else from this video, walk away with this. The Giants cannot have Evan Neal as the only investment at right tackle next year. Whether that means you draft Joe Alt, you draft someone in the 2nd round, you sign a veteran, you sign a swing tackle that can compete. You need to have somebody else that you could depend on at right tackle. We'll see you later. Go Big Blue.